All right, we're going to get started because we have a packed panel today, but we'll allow some other people to log in a little bit later as we go through the webinar. So thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Natasha DeSherbanen. I am the Director of College Advising at A-List Education. And this evening we have four admissions counselors joining us from SUNY. We're super excited to have them, and they're going to each give you a little bit of information about each of their schools, and then we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. So we're going to start off with introductions, and Jumana, if you want to go first.
Hi everyone, my name is Jumana Chowdhury. I'm an undergraduate admissions counselor at the University at Albany. My territory is New York City, so I recruit in mainly Brooklyn and Manhattan, and I am also one of the EOP counselors who reads the freshman applications in the admissions office at Albany.
Awesome. Nick, you're up.
Hi everyone, my name is Nick Wilkinson. I am the New York City regional representative. My territories are Manhattan or the New York 27th, as well as parts of the 5 boroughs, and cover as needed. And other responsibilities are, I would just say application reading, typical admissions duties as a regional.
Awesome. And Judy?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Judy Burhannon. I'm Dean of Admissions at Stony Brook University. Looking forward to hearing your questions and telling you a little bit more about Stony Brook and why we all love SUNY.
Awesome. Alex?
Hi everyone, my name is Alexander Mon. I'm the New York City admissions counselor for Binghamton University. I am based down here in New York City, and I do live in Brooklyn. So I do most of the recruitment on the 5 boroughs and also the metro area as needed. Before working with Binghamton, I was actually the SUNY Welcome Center, so I was working with all the different SUNY institutions.
Awesome. And on that note, Alex, if you could tell us a little bit about SUNY just to frame the conversation for us.
Sure, of course. So the State University of New York, also known as SUNY, is the largest public school system in the United States. So we actually have 64 different schools available to you. I'm sure everybody is familiar with what CUNY is, the City University of New York. So there's the distinction between the two. So CUNY, City University of New York, is only based in the 5 boroughs of New York City. Whereas the State University of New York is based all over New York State, and there's actually a couple of SUNY schools also here in New York City as well. So it's broken down to 4 different categories. So there are the university centers and doctoral degree granting institutions. Nick, Judy, Jumana, and I work for a university center. So these are our largest schools, and we work between 10,000 to 22,000 students right now, I believe. We also have the university colleges, so those are medium sized. We have the technology colleges, which are kind of more hands-on. And then we also have a lot of different community colleges as well. So again, 64 schools, a lot of different options are available to you.
Awesome. Excellent. Great. Thanks for that. And we're going to get started. So the University of Albany with Jumana is going to go first. And like I mentioned earlier, each school is going to talk a little bit about their schools and what sets them apart. And then we're going to leave some time at the end for Q&A. All right, Jumana, it's all yours. Oh, you're on mute, Jumana.
Yeah, of course. That's happened to me at least 10 times. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set my timer and get started. Again, my name is Jumana Chowdhury. I'm an undergraduate admissions counselor at the University at Albany. And I hope you are all doing well. I know we are living through different times. And on that note, I also want to say that if at any point I do get disconnected or something happens, I will try my best to reconnect. But, you know, Wi-Fi issues are continuing to happen. So we're going to try our best to stay here with you guys. So if you want to go to my next slide, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit more about the university and just where we're located. So the University at Albany is obviously located in New York's capital. And these are just some of the cool things about the area that's going on. So we are one of the best places to live in the country. I can truly attest to that. I moved there about 2 years ago from New York City, and I can actually afford rent up here. So that's super exciting. Along with that, we also have a huge government presence. Of course, we are in the capital of New York. So if you're looking to do anything in the world of politics, anything in public advocacy, advocacy, anything in, you know, that world of law or government, then that's a really good place to be in terms of your exposure and the opportunities you're going to get for a lot of internship opportunities, job opportunities, you know, public advocacy or protest, something you want to put together. It's a really good place to be for that. We are approximately 3 hours from 3 major cities. So we're just north of New York City. So from the 5 boroughs, Montreal, 3 hours north of Albany, and then there's Boston. So whether you're from there or you want to visit there over the weekend or you have family there, it's a pretty good place to be. So it makes it pretty easy for you to move around. We also have about 20 plus colleges in the area, making up for 65,000 students, which I will discuss in a couple of slides. Why that's important, besides the fact that you can make some new friends, you can collaborate with some new folks in the area, and also if you are there, also think about what that means for you as a student. A lot of these places and these offices are looking for you because you are the students of that area. They're looking to hire you, give you internship opportunities and job opportunities. So it's pretty good to, you know, pretty good area to be in. Like Alex mentioned, we are a SUNY center, so not only all the good stuff that he mentioned, we also have a lot of research opportunities. So we are an R1 institution. There are about 130 in the country, and so again, think about what that means for you as a student. When you come here, you have the opportunity to conduct some research from your freshman year to whenever you are ready. You have faculty members who are looking for students and actively recruiting you in their research. So you do have the opportunity to walk away with something great in your field before you even graduate, which again, not only makes you well versed in your subject, but also something you could put in your resume that you can carry with you before you even graduate. We also have a ton for you to do on campus, so 300 clubs and organizations that you could be a part of, Division I sports, 18 different sports for both men and women, study abroad, which is a sensitive topic right now, but again, we do hope to continue it in the future, so all opportunities that you can take. In the next slide, if you want to go over, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit more about our majors that we offer at the university. So we are broken up into 9 schools that make up for 50 plus majors. Some notable ones would be our criminal justice major, which ranks number 2 in the country. Some of our more competitive programs would be social welfare. Anything to do with School of Business is highly competitive as well, social welfare, and I think I already mentioned human development. So these programs are a little bit competitive. However, most of our students coming in for the first 2 years don't have to choose a major, which kind of takes the pressure off or puts it on, however you want to see it. But you do have some time to explore and see which ones are really for you. So these would be the majors that you can choose from and go over with your academic counselors before you finally make a commitment at the end of your sophomore year. College of Emergency Preparedness, Homeland Security, and Cybersecurity is unique to UAlbany, so that is something that we are very proud of, and that is something that you can look forward to if you are interested in that or coming to UAlbany. In the next slide, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about something that brings me back to my first slide, which is our pre-professional program. So if you're looking to go off into law school or medical school, we do have pre-professional programs in the sciences or anything that would give you all the prereqs you need to then apply into any law school or med school in the country. You also have your own set of advisors who would work with you to make sure that you are completing all of these requirements so you can apply into any of these schools at the end of your 4 years. It brings me back to my first slide because we do have some schools in the area that we have some affiliation programs with. So Albany Law School, Albany Medical College, Sage Graduate College. We have a BSMD program with Upstate Medical, which lets you know right out the gate from your freshman year if you have a medical school in place. It's a very good program, and that's something that a lot of our students take advantage of. We also have the accelerated bachelor's and master's program. So if you wanted to walk away with your bachelor's and master's at the end of your 5.5 years, you do have that opportunity as well. It saves you time and it saves you money, which is beautiful. We love that. So if you are interested in that, that's something you would have to talk to your academic advisors about so you can declare that. My next slide will tell you a little bit more about the application process, which has changed a little bit due to COVID this year. So we are on the Common App and the SUNY app. Whatever works for you works for us. We don't really have a favorite. And typically our students coming in are bringing in a GPA of about an 88.8 to a 95. However, they must complete those units that we require of English, social studies, math, science, and foreign language. These are mandatory because if you see over on the next slide, we have gone test optional for spring 2021, fall 2021, and spring 2022 for our incoming freshman students, because we do know that because of COVID, a lot of things have changed and a lot of the test dates have been canceled. So we are trying to work with our students to give you that bit, little bit of a leeway to work with that. My timer's telling me I'm almost out of time. I'm going to take one more minute just to tell you the deadline. So that is November 1st. We have early action that is non-binding. So if you do that, you'll get a decision by end of December. And that is the regular application deadline, which goes on a rolling basis. My last two slides tells you a little bit more about the tuition. So if you're a New York State resident student, that's a little bit more than $25,000. And if you're a non-New York State resident student, that's a little bit more than $42,000. My next slide tells you to apply for FAFSA. Please, please, please do it. It is a free application. That is our UAlbany code. If you want to take a picture of it, it sends it over to our financial aid office, and they do a great job of giving you a little package. Excelsior Scholarship, I don't know if any of my other colleagues are gonna go into it, but it is a scholarship started by Governor Cuomo for New York State resident students. If you are eligible for it, then apply for it. You might get some of your tuition covered if there's a gap in your tuition. My last slide leaves you information for the undergraduate admissions office and my email as well. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. If there's anything you want to ask me at the end of the presentation, feel free to do so. But we are also available via email and also phone Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 p.m. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Jumana, that was awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
If you don't mind putting your email address in the chat box, that way people who didn't have a chance to write it down can copy that down and contact you with any questions they might have. And we'll have some time at the end too for direct questions. All right, so we are moving over to Nick.
Awesome, sorry about that. So again, my name is Nick Wilkinson. I'm the New York City Regional Representative for the University of Buffalo. I just want to say before I get started really quick that I give all the students here props for everything they've had to go through this past spring with COVID-19. One day you're at home, attending classes as usual, business as usual, and then the next day you find out that all online instruction and you're getting pass-fail grades for things that you thought would go towards a GPA and an academic profile. And then on top of all that, all the social injustices that are going on not only in our city in New York, but all around the state and all around the country. So just all that being piled on, and then we're asking you to do a college search and an application process. So props for going through all that and then having to endure and going through this process. I give you immense kudos for that. Now, a little bit about the University of Buffalo. So we are the #1 public university in New York State, as per U.S. News and World Report. We're a top 40 public institution as per Wall Street Journal. And we're a top 25 among U.S. institutions that enroll the largest number of international students. So a little context here, we're actually striving within the next 2 or 3 years to be a top 20 university nationally. And we're part of something called the AAU. We're one of 65 institutions, or the American Association of Universities. What that association is a collection of schools that strive to uphold academic rigor and research standards among all universities in the United States. And UB is one of them. And what do you get attending an AAU institution? I would say just not only the name recognition that comes involved, but also attending classes with faculty that are on the top of their fields, as well as all the resources that the university has to offer. And that being that 100% of our students coming in freshman year can have the opportunity to go into a research opportunity, service learning, or any other, or internship opportunity, assistantship, you will have the opportunity within 4 years to have over 4 years of professional research or service-based experience, which is important when it comes to going into that job market. And not only will you have those experiences, but we're going to help you in how to accentuate those skills, so you'll be able to communicate them effectively. So when it comes time for that job market, you'll not only be able to market yourself, but you'll have those skills needed to jump right into the workforce. Next slide, please. So we just talked a little bit about this, but we're a part of the AAU. We can go ahead and skip ahead, and I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, but that's okay. We'll save a little time. Our academic profile, what we have to offer academically. So we have over 140 undergraduate programs, or for students going for bachelor's degrees. We have 55 combined degree programs, or programs that are interdisciplinary study, or 2 related majors that we would fuse together in order to create a unique program. We also have interdisciplinary study for you to create your own academic program in consultation with a faculty member or academic department. So that is also available. And we have 220 master's degrees and 95 doctoral programs. So this is important because if you maintain specific GPA requirements, you can have a bridge from your bachelor's to your master's without the burdensome of a GRE, an LSAT, an MCAT for the medical program. So there's a pipeline for you to do all 6 years of your program to get a master's degree, and even go all the way up to a PhD level. For example, our pharmaceutical program, where it's a 2+6 and go right into the PhD program. So there's a lot of different options and pathways at UB. So definitely take advantage of what the university has to offer, and definitely do some research. I would say, just really quickly, our 4 most popular schools within our 13 schools that we have would definitely be the School of Engineering, or SEAS, our Jacobs School of Medicine, our School of Business, as well as our School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Studies. Next slide, please. So we'll talk about the deadlines really quick. We offer early action, just like early decision without the legally binding contract. If you apply by November 15th, you'll have your decision by January, and you'll be able to use that decision to shop against other schools and see which is the best fit for you. Maybe if it's a financial aid package or that one extra scholarship that may be available, just will give you a little extra time before our May deposit deadline for you to evaluate the best decision for you and your family. For scholarship consideration, all you need to do is apply by December 15th. There's no additional applications for you to fill out. As long as you apply by that date, you will automatically be considered for all of our freshman-based merit-based scholarships. And you typically get the decisions for those by March and April, depending on when you submitted that application. And then for regular decision to be considered for fall is around February 1st. But I will say that we're a little lenient on that, depending on the number of seats that are available. But I will tell you, please don't run the risk of applying after February 1st, because it is first come, first serve. And you don't want to run the risk of not having a seat. And essentially, you want to apply by December anyway, so you can be considered for scholarship money that you don't have to put any additional work in for. So that is indeed important. Next slide. And lastly, we have a new feature at UB, just like I'm sure Binghamton or Stony Brook would talk about, is that we have a virtual visit option where you can come on this website. If you just Google visit UB, you can schedule an appointment one-on-one with a counselor or financial aid advisor. That can either be through a phone or a video appointment. You can see the campus through a 360 tour, and you can also sign up for webinars. We have webinars for financial aid, EOP, transfer, as well as for different academic departments, so you can see specific admissions requirements. So for example, when you apply to, say, the School of Cs or the School of Engineering or the School of Pharmacy, you have to not only be accepted by the university, but be accepted by the academic department. So you can learn about what those academic departments are looking for in terms of their admissions criteria. But other than that, I'll type in my contact information in the chat box, and I look forward to the panel.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nick. All right, Judy, Stony Brook, it's all yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. And like Nick and Jemana and Alex, we're really happy that you're here, and just want to stress to you that all of our campuses really are available to you. Our counselors, whether that be through virtual chats, one-on-one meetings with counselors. These are things that you can be doing now over the summer to prepare your application and to start getting ready for your senior year. So we've been talking to students all spring and this summer, and our rising seniors have been asking us, what can I be doing now? So we hope that you'll take time to do virtual visits for each of our campuses. So I'm from Stony Brook, and Stony Brook is located on Long Island. On a good day, if you're a New York City resident, we're about an hour and a half out from New York City. From Queens, maybe an hour, 50 minutes. From Brooklyn, about an hour, 15, and so forth. But we are on the east end of Long Island, and as you can see, we're very, very near the water. We're about 4 miles from the North Shore of Long Island, and our campus, we call it a 1,000-acre universe, meaning that you've got the world in 1,000 acres. And our university is fairly young. We are one of the university centers, as Alex mentioned, that will offer you not only bachelor's degrees, but master's degrees, doctoral level, and professional degree programs. And right now, our undergrad student body is about 17,000 students. Our freshman class will be just over 3,000. We'll bring in about 3,300 new freshmen. Okay, next slide. All right. You're among good company tonight. You've heard each of us talk about our rankings and the reputation of the SUNY schools. And you can't go wrong with the SUNY institution. We're very fortunate here in New York, not only to have Governor Cuomo, but to have a top university system. So what I'm going to tell you about Stony Brook is also true for Buffalo, Binghamton, and Albany. We have top rankings among public universities nationwide. We're ranked as best values, meaning that what you invest in your education, you get a good return on that money. And also, when you look at universities that have not only a reputation within our state, but across the nation, our universities, and Stony Brook among them, are recognized not only across the United States, but we're recognized internationally. For Stony Brook, there are a number of programs where we are highly reputed, not only across the country, but internationally, particularly in areas like engineering and technology, the natural and physical sciences, and the health sciences. But we're a lot more than a science school, so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some of the academic programs that we have next. Okay, the university is divided into kind of academic units, and we call them colleges or schools. Within our College of Arts and Sciences, you have what we call kind of the traditional liberal arts majors, psychology, English, history, political science, economics, anthropology. All of your natural and physical sciences, biochem, physics, etc., are part of the College of Arts and Sciences. I think Jemana mentioned that when you come into the university, you can come in with a major in mind, or you can come in undecided. Many students start with more than one thing that they're interested in, and that's fine. You usually have your first 2 years to really explore, take courses, and decide what you want. Our College of Engineering and Applied Sciences is exactly what it says, our engineering majors, electrical, mechanical, biomedical, computer engineering, civil engineering, Stony Brook has a College of Engineering, and a UB has or Buffalo has a very fine College of Engineering if you're interested in engineering related programs. Stony Brook has a School of Business. Our College of Business offers one major in business and one major only. It's business management, but you can specialize in accounting, marketing, finance, or operations in that. We have a School of Journalism, and you don't have to think about that as writing. You learn other skills like camera work, sound editing, digital editing. These are great skills to have, whether you want to go into media or whether you want to go into another area. And this is a picture here of our students in the School of Atmospheric and Marine Sciences. Stony Brook does have a facility out on the east end of Long Island, right on the water. But in Atmospheric and Marine Sciences, you can study not only marine sciences, but also atmospheric sciences, weather and weather systems. So, next slide. Our Stony Brook University has a special feature, and it's one that you will also find at University at Buffalo. We have a university hospital and a medical center right as part of the school, which is a wonderful thing if you want to go into the health field. And in the health field, we can offer you a variety of programs: nursing, social welfare. Under the area of health technology and management, we have areas like respiratory care, which is what's very, very important. During this crisis and the pandemic, our respiratory care program graduated our students early so that they could assist at University Hospital treating our COVID patients. We have programs like environmental health and safety that fall under health technology and management. Also medical records and medical informatics. We have a number of graduate programs, professional school in medicine and also dentistry, but we also have programs like PA and PT, which are graduate programs, meaning you have to do your 4 years first and then you can apply for advanced programs in the health sciences. So a lot of great opportunities in the health sciences. I wanted to just tell you a little bit about our academic profile and our application process to close, and I'll also add my name and email. But we are a rolling admission school. So we're not early action or early decision. We recommend that you get everything done before Christmas, but our deadline is January 15th. And I think Nick said that you really don't want to be that person who's doing your application like January 12th, January 13th, January 14th. You want to be ahead of the curve, because for all of our schools, we receive lots and lots and lots and lots of applications. And we reach a point where sometimes well-qualified students don't get in because we no longer have any space. So we want to encourage you to apply early. Stony Brook is rolling admission. We will also be test optional this year. So our main emphasis is going to be on your foundation coursework as it relates to the program of study that you want to go into. So we're going to be looking to see how well prepared are you for your intended area of study, whether that's English or whether that's engineering. We also will carefully review your essay, your letters of recommendation, and so forth. And that's another tip for everyone, regardless of what school you should apply to. Start thinking about who you would go to in your school for letters of recommendation, and start thinking about what your essay and what you're going to want to share in your essay. We all encourage you to stay in touch with us and to get a contact with our admissions offices so that we can assist you in learning as much as you want to know about our different universities. I'm going to stop now and also just type my information in for you so that you'll have that to follow up. But you can also scan this code or write to us at enroll@Stony Brook or text us with your questions. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Judy. All right, last but not least, we have Alex of Binghamton.
Hello, everyone again. So my name is Alex. I'm an admissions counselor at Binghamton University. So as you know, I am one of the 4 university centers. So together we make up the big 4. So I'm sure that you could look up a lot of different rankings from different publications for all of us, and we're all great at our own specialties. Particularly for Binghamton, we're known as the #1 public university with business first. So, that's good to know as well. Binghamton is about 4 hours away from New York City, located in Southern Tier, where we have about 14,000 students, over 130 areas of study, and we have students from all over the place. So 120 countries all over the world, all 50 states, and the best and brightest from New York State as well. As you can see in the background right now, so this is a night shot of campus, which is an awesome and beautiful view. So I do encourage you to all visit whenever you get the chance, especially when the pandemic's over. In the meantime, we do have a lot of different virtual sessions available for you and virtual tours too. Ooh, can we go to the next slide? So I think it makes sense to start with the academics. So Binghamton started actually as Harper College. So we were created sometime in the 1950s. So Harper College is actually the heart and soul of Binghamton University. So most of our students actually ended up there. So, you want to go to a place like Binghamton or, one of the university centers as SUNY because, you have a lot of different ideas as Judith and Jumana mentioned before. So, a lot of students do end up coming in undecided, which is perfectly okay. So coming to a place like SUNY and Binghamton, so we will help you, guide you on things that you're interested in. Specifically with Harper College, we have the humanities, languages, sciences, math, so a lot of different majors and areas of study available to you. Next, we have the College of Community and Public Affairs. So this is kind of like the people side of psychology. So I want to work with people and make a difference in the world. This is where you want to be. So there's also counseling, social work. We also have sociology, master of education if you want to teach, master of public affairs. So a lot of different things available to you. So again, if you want to make a difference in the world and work with governments and different communities, the College of Community and Public Affairs might be for you. We also have the Decker School of Nursing. So the Decker School of Nursing is very popular, as mentioned by my colleagues. So, during the COVID crisis, we expect a lot of different applications. How Binghamton's nursing program is a little bit different than the other is that we are direct entry. What that means is that if you are accepted to our nursing school, you're directly in that program, which is pretty awesome. Our Decker School of Nursing also working with our School of Pharmacy now, which is pretty new. So that is a combined program, especially if accelerated. So you do 2 years plus an additional 4 for your PharmD. So the Decker School of Nursing and our School of Pharmacy actually share the facilities together. Next, we have the School of Management, which is very popular. We offer business administration with 7 different concentrations and also accounting as well. So Binghamton being known as the #1 public university in New York State, New York City, the global financial hub of the world. So if you are looking for that summer or winter internship, we'll definitely help you out with that. We have partnerships with a lot of different organizations and companies, including the big 4 accounting firms like E&Y and PwC. Lastly, we have the Watson School of Engineering, where we have 5 different engineering programs, plus computer science and a minor in sustainable engineering. For those students that are interested in engineering, this is one of the programs that I want you to apply to directly if you're interested in it and you know that you want to be an engineer, because getting into engineering first and you end up hating it, it's easier we work together to pull you out of that than coming undecided and switching engineering later on. So altogether, there are 6 different schools that make up Binghamton University as a whole. We also have a lot of different combined programs, so 4+1, so you can start earning a master's degree during the 4th year of college. We also have different pre-professional programs with pre-health, pre-med, pharmacy, law, and education too. Ooh, next slide, please. So how Binghamton's a little bit different than the other university centers and other SUNYs, that we offer the FRI, which is the first year research immersion program. So what that pretty much means is that as soon as you come to Binghamton, you can participate in research directly and immediately. So a lot of different schools and universities, you have to wait until your 2nd year, but with the FRI, you can start conducting research with different professors and researchers immediately as soon as you get to Binghamton. Specifically with the FRI, you are working with different STEM topics, so like the environment, energy, health, and all these different topics in STEM. The source project is a little bit different. So this is where we focus on the humanities. So if you're interested in like human rights, immigration, social context, so things besides STEM would fall under the source project. So this is how Binghamton is a little bit different. These are invite only. So you can fill out an application if you're interested in and can be considered for it in the fall. With deadlines at Binghamton, so we do have early action, which is November 1st. So if you are ready to go and you know that you want to go to Binghamton and you're ready to apply, November 1st is when is our deadline for early action. For regular admissions, it will be January 15th. And I don't think any of my colleagues mentioned before, you can start applying to colleges as soon as August 1st. So in the next 2 weeks, actually. So that is actually pretty soon and exciting. All of SUNY now is going to be test optional, so that includes Binghamton. So last year for our academic profile, we are looking between a mid-90s, so 93 and 96 for the GPA. Test optional means that if you did take the exam already and you think you're going to do well on a future SAT, we do encourage you to submit that. So with that being said, if you've taken the pre-SAT before and you didn't think that you did so well, then if you don't submit it to us, then that's perfectly okay, because we're going to be only looking at the other factors that submit to us. Thanks. I think I'm all set.
You guys were super quick. That's great, because now we have lots of time for Q&A. Amazing job. Okay, cool. So I'm going to stop sharing so we can see each other's faces. And I'm going to bring up our questions that were submitted before the webinar. But I also would love to encourage all of our participants to use the Q&A box to ask any questions that they might have. So I'll start with one that we got before from registration. And some of you already kind of addressed this, but I think there's still some lingering questions about, what will the focus be in admissions if SAT scores and ACT scores aren't available? And then a follow-up to that question would be, does the lack of test scores impact a student's chances at an honors program admittance?
I'll be more than happy to take the first stab at that. So I will say the things that we do know. We do know that we're going test optional and it's SUNY-wide. And the things that we don't know are how it's going to affect other parts of our admissions process. For example, we're not going to be considering test scores for general admission, but things that may be affected. For example, at University of Buffalo, our honors college, some of our merit-based scholarships. Some things that may have unexpected ramifications because of COVID that could affect things later down the road. And I think that's why SUNY made it seem fit that it would be fall 21, spring 22, and fall 22, because we just don't know how it's going to carry, not only for this year, but for following years as well. But there's some conversation in circles of national and state professional associations that there's going to be added questions into the application systems, such as the Common App, the Coalition App, and the SUNY app, to account for these unexpected family circumstances that, like say, if you lost your job or if your parents lost your job within the last 6 months, or if there were some other hardships in the family, there's going to be some questions that may be added to account for those circumstances. So we're all learning together. And I think moving forward, as we get more information, that this will get more defined. But I will say any opportunities to take the SAT or ACT, even though it's test optional, you are definitely welcome to do that, because there are going to be additional opportunities for those students. And I think that just being more prepared is the best policy. So definitely try to take advantage of all those opportunities moving forward.
We just got a follow-up question to that. So if anyone wants to jump in on this kind of follow-up, it's, do students who choose to send test scores that are high, does that give them an advantage, or are they on equal footing with others? So are a student who submits high test scores, are they going to have kind of an advantage in the process over students who might not submit test scores?
I think the one thing that I would say is it's important that you check each school's website because as Nick mentioned, it could differ from school to school. For instance, there may be a school that says for a particular major, you should submit test scores. And that can vary even among campuses that are test optional. Also, the policies regarding whether or not you can be considered for merit scholarships without test scores may vary from campus to campus. So there's still going to be differences between and among campuses. Students with high testing profiles, in terms of traditionally, may move through the application process a little bit more quickly in terms of our ability to read and review and confirm that a student, has the potential to be successful. I think, all of our jobs, and we don't get the chance to get to meet the majority of students who apply to our schools. So we're trying to learn about you through your application. But our first responsibility is to try to make some type of good judgment regarding whether you have the muscles to make it, whether you have the foundation, the academic preparation to take on the course of study. And sometimes some of the additional things and that we'll be focusing more on with test optional are things about your personal motivation, your sense of responsibility, your stick-to-itiveness, your leadership, that will give us an idea of this is a person who's going to work hard. They believe in themselves. They believe in community. They are people who you give, if the opportunity presents themselves, they don't believe in letting themselves down. So they're gonna work hard. So that's the information we get from your recommendations, from your essay, and so forth.
Awesome. Does anyone else want to add their thoughts? Yeah, Jumana?
Yeah, I think Judy and Nick put it really nicely, so thank you for that. But yeah, each school will be different in terms of what they might need an SAT for. So Albany, for our BSMD program, we are definitely requiring SATs. So if you are interested in that or applying to that, that would be a requirement for that. We are test blind and awarding, merit scholarships, but like Nick said, this is new to us, kind of, so we're still learning so much about it. So as we move along, we're definitely going to be making adjustments as needed. But I think that kind of brings me to my next point, which is communicate with us. We are here for our students. We are here for you. So if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to clarify, talk to us, let us know, write to us. We definitely take that into consideration when we are reviewing applications. And like Judy mentioned, when you don't have an SAT, or even when you do, I read 50 applications a day. So at the end of the day, what I'm looking for is you as an individual. So who are you? What can you tell me about who you are? What are you passionate about? So the best way to do that is through your essay. So spend some time on it, pick a topic that you really care about, ask for your recommendations from someone who can talk about something other than your grades. So something that speaks true to your character. If I can see it on a transcript, what's the point, right? Because I can already see it. So tell me something more about yourself, the person that can tell me a little bit more about you. Along with that, we're also looking at everything else on your transcript. So, the rigor of your grades, AP courses, honors courses, trend of your grades. And then last thing that I want to mention is, no matter which application you choose to do, like Nick mentioned, there is an opportunity for you to tell me a little bit more. So if there's anything that you feel like would make me raise an eyebrow when I review the application, just tell me about it so I can put everything into perspective and make an informed decision. So just, talk to us, let us know, write a good essay, and, we'll stay in communication with you.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
So I just wanted to add really quickly. So if you do submit your SAT or ACT to us, this just serves to supplement your application. So that's an additional piece that we will be looking at. So what I did mention before, if you know that you're a strong test takers and you're gonna think you're gonna get a good score, then yeah, definitely submit your scores to us and definitely do your research, because all of our different schools have different requirements, and our mid 50% from last year is still there. However, if you don't think you're gonna score well or you don't have opportunity to take it, we won't hold that against you.
Awesome. Great. So another kind of COVID related question is how your schools are all currently thinking about opening up this fall. And I know there's probably some limitations to what you can answer given where we are right now and how things could change very quickly. And then, follow up to that too, it would be, do each of your schools have the ability to make your own plans, or is it a SUNY-wide decision?
So I'll jump in for this one. I will say that we just came out with our new revised schedule actually today, I believe. To some of our classes, depending on the major or program, are going to be fully % in classroom, mostly lab-based work. Some of it may be hybrid and some of it may be online. So we are trying to prioritize what we're doing in terms of academic departments, and that is being communicated as such to our students. How we're doing things over at Campus Living is that all of our students for right now are living in doubles. Rooms are going to be staggered for social distancing purposes, and there's going to be contingency plans for students who test positive or for other contingencies that may happen later down the road. So there are safety protocols that were very clearly thought out and were planned out and are being presented right now. Our president just sent out a statement, and we have a COVID-19 updates page where you can see everything COVID-19 and how it's currently affecting our campus community. Any new information that occurs or that comes about gets put on that website even before the staff knows about it. And that's how the staff, frankly, learn about it. So you're getting the best information possible when it comes to COVID-19 and how it will be affecting us moving forward. So I will just say, in terms of what was the follow-up, because I definitely wanted to answer that.
Oh, so is this going to be an individual school decision, or is it going to be the same at all SUNYs?
Well, I believe SUNY has a set of guidelines that all schools have to follow by, and then within that umbrella or that scope, we can make individualized decisions based on what communities we live in or what part of the states we are and where those cases are. So I believe things can be individualized, but however, we are public institutions and we do answer to the governor's office and public health officials and state and federal health officials and guidelines. So we do try to, well, we have to stay within that scope, but we do try to make individualized choices based on what's best for our communities, for sure.
Excellent. Does anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah, I can go next. So very similar to Buffalo with Binghamton, we will have a combination of what classes will look like in the fall. So there are going to be some hybrid classes. Some of the lab classes will be in person. And at least with Binghamton, if you decide that you want to go completely remote, we're going to honor that request as well. So some of our students have decided to live at home during the fall semester and learn from Binghamton from the comfort of their own home if they're not feeling safe on campus. With that being said, if everything, and I hope that everything is good by the spring, they can decide to move back to campus later on.
I'll go next. Not too much different. We are bringing our students back to campus August 24th. However, if students want to request a fully online course load, they definitely can. They will work that out with their academic advisors and they will honor that as well. Our only plan is to eliminate fall break. And when we send our students back home for Thanksgiving break, we are not bringing them back on campus just to reduce that kind of exposure. So that's the option that they have right now. And I believe students who request to live off campus can also request that as well with Res Life, and they will work that out with them.
Just pretty much the same combination. We will also have online, some in person, and some hybrid classes, and students will be brought back to campus with different precautions in our residence halls and also in our rec facilities, our student union, and so forth, to just ensure that students are maintaining their own personal health and safety to the best of their ability. And we will also end our semester on campus at Thanksgiving, and students will take their finals and so forth for this semester online after the Thanksgiving break. They won't return to campus after Thanksgiving.
Great, thank you all for sharing.
I want to add,
Yeah.
you know, so I know this fall is going to be weird for everyone, so for most schools. So while the social and the college experience is different, there's still going to be a college experience when you come to one of our campuses. You know, there's going to still be events going on, you know, you're still going to meet other students. And of course, it's going to be different than every other year. So when things do clear up, you know, you all can live it up, right?
Sounds good. So this is a bit of a tricky question because I'm sure we could be here all night if you were to go into it in depth. But the question is, what are the differences between all the SUNYs? And so I'm wondering if you can maybe give, you know, you already gave your presentations and highlighted some of the differences, but with the 4 SUNY centers, is there any like quick and easy way to kind of identify the main differences?
Okay, who wants to hit that one? I'll start because I sincerely believe this, that campuses, just like people, have personalities. And, you know, that doesn't make it good or bad. It's just, you know, one personality might go with yours a little better and so forth. So, you know, Stony Brook is downstate. I'd say we're very, very much kind of bonded to New York City and Long Island. Our campus has a pretty busy vibe, very, very diverse, culturally, ethnically. I think that I get also the physical environment of a campus, you know, also shapes the personality. So, you know, like Jemana mentioned Albany and what kind of community that is in terms of being a kind of college town where there are other major colleges and universities. Stony Brook is out in a very pretty area of Long Island. You're 4 miles from beaches, et cetera, but our campus is like a small town in and of itself. You know, that kind of shapes the personality. We're suburban. Albany may be more urban. You know, you get up to Alex's area or Nicholas's area, you know, you've got beautiful green rolling hills and mountains before you get to Binghamton. But each campus is its own kind of community. And, you know, that's why we want you to engage with our virtual tours and virtual visits so that we can spend more time and show you more about our campuses and our own vibe and so forth. Yeah.
Awesome. Does anyone want to add? Yeah.
So I think just for me this is from my perspective, being a person that did my undergrad and graduate work in Western New York, so I could talk a little bit about the students' perspective. So the one thing that I definitely appreciated about the Buffalo community is the fact that I feel like it's a hub for the rest of New York State, in the sense that it's 90 minutes away from 5 different major cities. If you wanted to connect with, like, say, like Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Toronto, New York City, an hour-and-a-half flight from all those cities, or you can also connect through bus, train, whatever that may be. What's unique also about the UB community is we have 3 very distinct campuses, and they all have their own little niches, per se. Whereas UB North, or the Amherst campus, is more of a suburban feel. We have our downtown campus, which is in the heart of Buffalo's medical corridor, which is definitely more urban, more downtown, where lots of things are happening. And then there's UB South, which is a little bit more rural, a little bit more secluded, but however, it gives you a little bit of a different touch than the other 2, and you can choose which campus you want to live on, and they're all connected by our bus system, and then an elaborate public transportation system in Buffalo. You can also have your car on campus, and the town of Buffalo itself is the 2nd largest city in New York State. But however, it's very much a small town environment where each little area, such as like Amherst or Cheektowaga or downtown Buffalo or Orchard Park, they all have their different vibes. And you can choose which flavor you want. Besides the professional sports and NHL, the Sabres, or football with the Bills, or even our own Division I athletics, where you have Division I football, you have Division I baseball, basketball, women's basketball. So it's very much a college town in the feeling that when game days occur, everyone's wearing pride colors, everyone is rooting for their teams, and it's just a great place to be. There's 5 different universities within that small area too, so there's just a different flavor for everybody, and that's definitely the one thing that I definitely appreciated being an undergrad and as being a grad in the area.
I guess I'll go next. Not going to tell you very different things from what my colleagues already mentioned. Prior to this, I used to also work for the City University of New York. So I used to get this question there a lot as well because there are so many campuses. But I always used to tell students, until you step foot on a campus, you really can't tell if it's for you. I know we're living in different times. So like Judy mentioned, connect with us virtually, do our virtual tour. When we do open back up in a couple of weeks, definitely go visit us if you can. But you know, when you're on a campus, you'll see that you might want to be in Albany because it's 3 hours north of New York City, so it's the perfect distance away from home. So mom won't visit you every day, but if something happened, you could come back home. Maybe that's what you're looking for, or maybe you want to stay closer to home and go to Stony Brook. You know, maybe that's your vibe and that's what you're looking for. So it really depends on what works for you. I don't think any choice is a bad choice. I'm happy if you just go to school. So, you know, wherever you choose, I think you're making a good choice. But just visit the campuses, and then, you know, more importantly, you want to make sure that wherever you're going actually has the things that you're looking for. So, you know, you don't want to come to UAlbany looking for nursing if that's what you're looking for at the end of your 4 years, because we have pre-med, but we don't have a school of nursing. So, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. You want to do that research. You want to look into what you're looking for and see if that school actually has what you're looking for. So definitely visit, talk to the admissions counselors, do the virtual tour, and then you'll definitely be able to tell if it's really for you. You'll know it when you see it.
Well, I guess I'm last. I think we have a few minutes left, so I'll be pretty quick. I think what Judy, Jumana, and Nicholas, the key word that they mentioned was the word vibe. So, you know, everything's about, you know, academic, social, and financial fit. So all of our 4 university centers have our own specialties and our own different majors and what we're good at. So I think that's one of the key things we'll look at first. So as Jumana mentioned, if you're looking for nursing, Albany is probably not the best choice, but at Binghamton, Buffalo, and Stony Brook, we do offer nursing to you. So I know you can't visit the campus right now, but definitely check out the virtual tours if you can. I know everything, you know, on the internet right now is based on reviews. So I know there's a lot of different YouTube videos with students talking about their college experience. So that might be a good frame of reference on where you can go at. And, you know, when things do clear up, please visit campus if you can and try to experience the vibe and the college culture yourself. And with financial fit, we're all about the same price.
That's a good thing. All right. I'm just going to share my screen again, and just wanted to close by thanking you all so much for attending and for participating in the panel. Just a wealth of knowledge on this panel. You guys are all experts in SUNY, and it's just been great to hear about all the differences of the campuses. So thank you so much for your time. I'd be remiss not to highlight what we do at A-List. So this is me. If you want to learn more about college advising at A-List or talk about college admissions and all the changes that are happening during COVID-19, please feel free to schedule a free consultation with me. And that's my Calendly link there. I can drop it in the chat, and we'll also be mailing out this recording with the link to my Calendly if you'd like to sign up for a 30-minute talk. And we also offer test prep. So in a year where, you know, things are a little bit wonky, if you need some help preparing for the SAT or ACT, we are here for you as well. So again, I'm going to, you know, stop and thank the panelists. If anyone has remaining questions, you can reach out and email us or any of the panelists who shared their contact information. And we hope that you and your families are all healthy and well. And you know, this is a weird time, but it's an exciting time for college admissions, I think. I think there's a lot of great things that are coming out of college admissions during this time. And I know that everyone is going to get through this and come out the other end much stronger. So thank you all and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.